This is Shalane. I am a master instructor for AFA, and I also teach group fitness for over 10 years. I teach a variety of formats, and I really am trying to get people to be more fit and encourage them to have a healthy lifestyle. So during COVID, we all need a little more motivation, right? So I thought these series would come and help all of us, myself included. And today's session, although I knew the importance of water, I really found some new things out, and it really has encouraged me to drink more water personally. So I hope this will do the same for you. Please make this interactive, so if you need to jump on, say anything, use your space bar, and that'll mute you temporarily, and you can say your thing and then come back, or wave, and then I will wait. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We are going to get started. All right. So everybody brought their own water. Let me see your water. Hold it up. Nice. Cheers. Okay, good. We are going to play a drinking game. All right. So basically take a sip of water if you want to do what I say. Okay. Do you want to lose weight? I. Do you want to have healthy skin? Do you want to normalize your blood pressure? We're all going to have to go to the bathroom halfway through. I'm going to need an intermission. How about keep toxins in your body? No, right? Let's, do you want to increase the risk of heart attack? Do you want to reduce joint pain and arthritis? Do you want to boost your energy? Prevent constipation? Do you want to have poor digestive system? How about improve your mood? Okay. So, see, it wasn't that hard to drink water, right? What I want you guys to do also is, if you see the name, the word water in the title, to take a sip of water as well throughout the slide. Okay, let's go. Oops, what did I do? Okay. So the top 10 reasons, this guy is actually a cardiologist, and this is the top 10 reasons that, hey, Dara, glad you got your water. That's his top reasons to drink water, and a lot of it have to do with our heart. And I did not really, I kind of knew about it, but I didn't realize that how much it did affect my blood pressure. So it does things like normalize your blood pressure, it makes your skin healthier, it flushes toxins from your body, you can lose or maintain your weight, reduce your fatigue, lower the risk of heart attack, improve your mood, reduce joint pain, better bowel movements, and aids in proper digestion. So all of these things, maybe you knew about, maybe you didn't know about, but hopefully as we go through the talk, you guys will find more things that you like, or maybe did not know, like me. Okay, today we're going to cover signs and risks of dehydration, what water does for you, how water helps you lose weight, and tips to drink more water. So sounds good? Yeah? Give me a thumbs up? Good. All right. Dehydration. This is where Susie lives. No, I'm just kidding. She's in Utah. It's not so bad. It's described as, Dara, so if you see the word water, and Lenora, welcome, welcome. If you see the word water in the title, you have to take a sip of water. You guys missed our drinking game, but this is the second part of our drinking game. All right. So it's pretty, typical. You guys know that if you don't have enough water, it's either because you're sweating or because if you haven't, if you didn't drink enough fluid, then you're dehydrated. Well, that's kind of like one of those far off thoughts, right? That you're like, yeah, eventually, it might happen to me, but it's not so bad. Well, there's two common tests that we can take for noticing whether you have enough, if you're dehydrated or not. So the first test is, let's see if you can guess. Can any of you guys guess what the first test is? One is the pinch test and the other one is the beer test, okay? Pinch test number one. Let's do this ourselves. So take your hand and pinch yourself on your hand. Now, if the skin goes back immediately, then you are hydrated. But if you have this like couple of second lag where you can still see your pinched skin, then you are dehydrated. Look at y'all go. Drink some more water. And we discussed this last week, how half of Americans, or not Americans, but people in general are dehydrated. And this happens very, and I'm thinking it's more than that. Most people are dehydrated. Okay, the second test is one that you guys mostly know about, and it is looking at your pee. So you look at it if it's like color of beer. Now, if it's like stout, you're in trouble. You need to maybe go to the doctor, and definitely just stop whatever you're doing and drink water right away. But if you have, clear, transparent, or pale color urine, you are doing okay. There also are clinical signs of being dehydrated. So they look at things like behavior, thirst, like your mucous membranes, like your eyes and your lips, your skin. For the babies, the back of their heads where you could see the plates forming, the eyes, the skin, blood pressure, heart rate, and urine output. So those are all technical, but a lot of it you can just tell by looking at the color. Okay, now, what are the risks of mild to moderate dehydration? You are likely to get things like thirst, okay, dry mouth, okay, constipation, okay, dizziness or lightheadedness, fatigue, headaches, muscle cramps, bad breath, which is not so important nowadays because we are all via Zoom, infrequent urination or dark urine, dry skin, or skin that's lost its elasticity, cravings for sweets, because we talked about carbs last week and sugar, right? And altered mood, crankiness, and or fuzzy thinking, so confusion. Look at you, Joe. You drinking, and I didn't even have to say water in the title. Okay, now, if you have, okay, so I forgot to tell you, these first two are considered, oops, bad. So these first two are considered mild. These middle two are considered moderate, and this is considered severe, okay? So we're gonna talk about, this is the second two, the middle two, and this is the last two. So if you have really dark urine, you have it can lead to rapid breathing, rapid heartbeat, sunken eyes. Actually, that is one of the things that I always see, like if I go on a fitness conference, I check my eyes all the time. So if I have my eyes and I can see this like crease in my eye, then I know for me that I'm really dehydrated. Extreme thirst, severe dizziness or lightheadedness. You can be unconscious or delirious. You can have low blood pressure. Now, one of the signs of heat exhaustion is not sweating even though you're supposed to be sweating. So like Susie and I, when we're exercising a lot in a fitness thing, when people are supposed to be sweating, but they're not sweating and they're really exerting themselves, that might be a sign of a huge problem. Not being able to urinate or having very dark urine, and extremely dry or shriveled skin that lacks elasticity. All right, so all of these things are bad, right? Are you guys scared? Everybody's drinking water now. I love it. So our body is composed mostly of water. Our brain is 80% water, our lungs are 90% water, our bones, our eyes, our heart, muscles, skin, and the rest of us is made out of blood. So we're up to 75% of water. Now, if we don't drink enough water, we can damage the functions of all of those things. That's what causes all of those things previously. Another common causes of dehydration are sweating, sweating too much, like fever, vomiting, being sick, diarrhea, frequent urination, and not drinking enough fluids. However, there are additional surprising sources of dehydration, such as menstruation, prescription medications, or dietary supplements that could act as a diuretic. Low carb diets, this is another one that really causes dehydration. Pregnancy, for when, morning sickness happens. Breastfeeding, consuming alcohol, Joe Brooks, and stress. Stress is a big one. So that is something that we all have to watch out for. We have causes that even though we might be drinking water, we don't realize these things are counteracting the water that we're taking into our bodies. Okay. Now, the water's function in our body, those are 7 main things that they do. Did you guys all drink water? Dara, see? Oh, I didn't drink water. All right. So they do transporting, which is, even though the water is not coursing through our veins, we drink it, it has to go through our digestive system and then through our system. It creates more blood, and then it does things like bring nutrients and oxygen to cells, and then it brings important messages from your hormones to your brain, and it takes the cell waste products like carbon dioxide and expels them. So water also is dissolving. It is a solvent. So as we know, if you take water and you put most things in water, it will melt. The only things are lipids like fats, oils, waxes. But our body actually is clever enough to surround the water-insoluble molecules with proteins so they can be transported in water. So we dissolve a lot of bad toxins in our body, and then we can then move them out. It's also good for cleaning. So normally when we wash our hands or take a shower, we are using water as a cleanser, right? So most of us don't have soap inside of our bodies unless we cursed a lot as children. But the water moves through our bodies and our organs like the kidneys and livers and removes all of the toxins. So the other thing that is, when you start exercising, you want to have water because it promotes the flushing of the lactic acid buildup from your muscles. And so it will help you with your lymphatic node drainage and recycle your protein, bacteria, and cellular debris, we call that metabolic waste, through your livers and your kidneys. So these are a lot of good things that water is doing for us. So water is also a reactant. It is an important molecule that in some cases has to be broken down or hydrolyzed. So it's needed for chemical reactions such as when sucrose, sugar, is digested into fructose and glucose, water is part of that solution. It's part of that chemical reaction. So within our body, it does things like amp up your metabolism in certain ways, and then also burns calories. So when you drink water, it actually burns calories. So look at Dara drinking water. All right, we drink water. I'll drink with you, Dara. Okay. Now we knew about water being a lubricant, right? So there's a lot of body fluids that we think about for lubrication, like our eyes, you know, our throat, all of these places that needs lubrication. But a lot of people don't realize that joints, most of our joints are synovial joints, which means that they are filled with synovial fluids during motion. So the reason we do warm-ups during exercise classes is because there's these sacs that are empty, and the body excretes fluids, synovial fluids. They make it and they put it into these sacs when we're exercising. So, you know, like when we don't warm up our bodies properly, the sacs don't have time to fill up with fluid. And that fluid acts like a cushion for our joints. So like when your knees are you know, maybe cracking, or, you know, you feel like they're not, they're hurting, it might be that you're not drinking enough water and not warming up long enough for that movement for your body. We can talk about that one later. That's another whole topic about warm-ups. The other thing is, you know, we also need, when we breathe, we need water-based lubrication called a surfactant. Otherwise, each breath would feel like we've collapsed a lung. So one of the major challenges for babies that haven't developed this is that they can't breathe properly, right? So it just feels very painful to breathe. So our bodies really need water everywhere. Padding. So water prevents when you have sacs joined with water. Actually, this is where I was supposed to talk about synovial fluids. But anyway, the vertebrae, for example, have water in the middle of the discs, right? And that allows the vertebrae not to smack into each other. So somebody with degenerative back disease really, really knows how important it is to have that cushion. The other thing is we have cushions like that all around our body and also through our muscles. And if they're nice and plump, then they provide more padding, right? The last thing it does is regulate your body temperature. So we already figured out that if you sweat buckets, you cool down, right? So when you're hot, you sweat. Yet we also, the water in the blood vessels at the surface of your skin helps get rid of the heat. So that's how it works. It's like a radiator for all you car people. See, I put in the car references for you too. The other thing is the water works like a cooling fluid. So it goes through your entire body, where the cooler blood is now circulating to your brain and to all your major organs. So the one way to really find out like how that works is, and to see if your body is working effectively, is after you're working out very, very hard, maybe not in the water, but if you're working out on land, feel your stomach right after your workout and see if your stomach is cold. Because what happens is when you are exercising, your blood is going to all the different parts of your body besides your stomach. Your stomach is not having all the blood go to your stomach for digestion, because at that time you need that energy for exercise. So then if you feel your stomach and it's cold, then it means that your body is working really well and bringing the blood to the other parts of your body. All right. Now let's talk about science and how water can help us lose weight. Okay, so they did a whole bunch of studies. I put I put out 5 studies that they did. The last 2 aren't necessarily studies, but they are kind of medical sources. All right, so the first one is that there was a study in 2010 that found that drinking 16 ounces of water before 3 meals a day while on a diet increases fat loss in overweight and obese individuals. So that's pretty good. They found out that if you just drank water before your meals and you're on a diet, you're going to lose more weight. And this was for middle-aged and older adults, and this was done in 2010. Another study found that if you drank another 16 ounces of water, your body would use 24% more calories for 60 minutes after drinking water. So that was a study done in 2007. So basically your body has to work to burn the calories to process anything that's coming in. So it's called Diet-Induced Thermogenesis, and it works for water. So for men, it burns fat, and for women, it burns glucose, carbohydrates. We talked about carbs before, right? So this is what it burns. Study number 3. And I actually, so for all of you guys who are here, I'm going to send you my talking notes, which has all the references in case you wanted to do more studies about this. These are actual studies, scientific studies. The third one is from the Journal of Endocrinology and Metabolism. This one is awesome. It says that if you drink 16 ounces of water, it spikes your metabolism by 30%. And so if you increase by 1.5 liters per day, that will burn about 200 calories. And over a year, that can lead to losing 12.5 pounds of fat. So if you drink a gallon of water a day, or a little less, it could make you lose 12.5 pounds a year. Now, if we did the opposite and we ate our snacks, our 28 M&Ms, or 2 Oreo cookies, it kind of balances out. Why are we all laughing? Or is it crying? Are we crying? We're all crying. All right, number 4. This BMC public health study of more than 1,100 adults that's found that every 3.4 ounces of plain water results in a 0.7 ounce reduction of calorie-laden beverages, which in Dara Brooks's case, sorry Dara, it was like 100%, right? Like you actually stopped drinking Coca-Cola because you were drinking water. So that was awesome, but they actually did a survey and they said if you drank enough water, a lot of people drank a lot less other high-calorie beverages. And then 5, there's a 2015 study from the University of Oxford. It's found that obese adults who drank about 16 ounces of water before their meals ended up eating fewer calories and losing 2.6 more pounds than those who just simply imagined that they were full before they sat down at a meal. So a lot of times it's easy for us to mistake the sensation of thirst for hunger. So when in doubt, just drink water. Now, there's 2 other articles that really made a lot more sense, but there weren't like specific studies that I found. One was from the Mayo Clinic, and it basically just said drink enough water, it makes your digestive system work much better, which is just it flushes out toxins and waste matter, so that, you know, this is something that we kind of know about, but there wasn't an actual study for it. And then the last one, which I thought was really fascinating, which I did not know about, was to say that we should drink room temperature water, not cold water during meals. Now, I grew up Yes, Joe? Go ahead.
I had a question about that because I read
Uh-huh.
it. I always drink ice cold water.
Okay.
And I've heard that when you're eating, you should drink hot water.
Yes.
But I don't know what cold water. Do you ever drink cold? Because I don't drink room temperature water. So
So,
what do you know about this?
okay, I will send you the article. There's this Penn State professor who teaches this nutrition class, and he did this whole article about this whole topic. And so there weren't any one specific articles that addressed this, but basically what he ended up saying was, as your body consumes too much energy and heating the cold water in your system, it's taking away that energy from your digestive system. And so it makes your digestive system less efficient. Dara, look at you go. See, that was like boom, right? So this basically helps drinking. Yeah, so drinking room temperature water helps you digest the food better and therefore, and get rid of waste and therefore cause you to lose weight or not gain weight. Yeah?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, Dara.
I was telling Joe that years ago, I belonged to an organization with a speaker. She was a medical doctor, and she told us not to drink cold water because, just like you said, it required the body to use a lot of energy before it could actually use the water. But the other thing I was going to say is, since we've been on quarantine and they were talking about eating, drinking hot fluids and things like that to help us, if you got COVID, then you run it down into your digestive system. I've gotten into the habit of when I get up in the morning, because I'm an early riser, I usually heat a cup of water in the microwave, and that's the first thing I take in the morning.
Actually, they said that if there was a study about eating cold food versus hot food. And cold food took your body longer to burn. So that actually was kind of good, and it kind of wakes you up. So like first thing in the morning, you probably could drink a cup of ice water. It'd be like very refreshing and very bracing. You'll be wide awake. Like that might be a very okay thing to do, but not with meals, not when you're eating. So Chinese people and Indian people, this is not a scientific study, but this is like just our culture, is that we don't drink cold water. And the Indian people really believe that your stomach is fire. That's the fire is where your digestive system is. And if you don't have good fire in your stomach, then you can't digest your food properly. So I think that that's what they were trying to get at in terms of like energy there. But I will send you that article if you want to read it. So there is a lot of things out there, but the guy basically says at the end of the day, he's pretty convinced, even though there wasn't one specific study for it. So that was kind of neat for me. Now that we know all of these things about why we need to drink water, how much water should we drink? Okay, this is a hard one. Most of us know most of us know that we should take our body weight, divide it in half, and then drink that many ounces, right? So that's what we probably should be doing. So this National Academy of Sciences, Engineering, Medicine, they calculated an average healthy adult living in, not Florida, but if you're staying indoors all day, it's like a temperate climate, 91 ounces, just over 11 cups for women, and 125 ounces or over 15 cups for men. So that is actually a lot of water. I brought some examples. This is a gallon. So this is about how much, Joe, you should be drinking. Don't be shaking your head. It's hard. I know it's hard. And this is 1 cup. So 1 cup is pretty small. It's a little cup. So we would have to drink 15 of these for you, Joe, and 11 of us for us, the rest of us. So a thing like this, 4 cups, 32 ounces. So that's something like this. That's like 32 ounces. It's like a liter. Okay, and these are about 17 ounces. So that's like 2 cups. Okay, so that just gives you an idea of how much we should be drinking. It's a lot. And as we start drinking more water, our body's not used to it. We will be, yes, peeing a lot more. But eventually our body will be absorbing the water and we won't be running to the bathroom. But we're home, so it's okay. Hi, Ben. He walks by just as we're talking about peeing, when I didn't talk about peeing the whole time. Oh, good. All right. Tips to drink more water. Oh, the other thing about drinking enough water, which might be good for people who are now exercising at home to find out if you are dehydrated after a workout, is to weigh yourself and before and after you work out. So then you can see how much you sweat. So if you work out and your weight was 150 pounds before and afterwards you're 147, you're not drinking enough water. So if your workout weight is 2% or more less than your pre-workout weight, then you really need to drink a lot more water. Okay, all right. Tips to drink more water. Keep that water handy. It's easy if it's right here and then something reminds you and you're like, oh, I need to drink water, right? Choose a way that you can have water on hand and just get a nice water bottle, invest in a nice cup with the lid, and drink throughout it. Make it a habit to bring it with you everywhere and drink. Or for me, I put little cups of water everywhere. This drives my family crazy. I have a glass by the sink. I have a glass by my bed. I have a glass by the kitchen counter where I take my meds. You know, like I have a glass where I work out. So that to me is a reminder that like I'm like, oh, I need to go fill out. So I'm gonna try to do the opposite and bring it with me wherever I go. So that to me is gonna be something that I'm gonna try to do for myself. The other thing to do is to increase your produce intake of water-rich foods. So the #1 fitness challenge I'm going to have us do for this week is to read the article about 19 water-rich foods that we can have, that we can eat in addition to water. So there's things like watermelon that we know about, strawberries, cantaloupe, celery, bell peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, spinach, broccoli, and cauliflower. Those are really high in water content. The other thing is that we can do is make our water more exciting. So, you know, if you want to put water in your freezer overnight, I've actually done this. Suze, actually, I got into this big kick like 10 years ago about fruit-induced, flavored water, infused water. So it's pretty easy for me. I have a big bottle, and inside I have a strainer that, I can put inside, or you can just throw the things in there, and you can put in whatever fruit or vegetables that you have at home. You can put in cucumbers, mint, celery, whatever you like, you can put in there. I don't know about bell peppers, but or tomatoes, but you can put in, any sort of fruit like watermelon, and then put in mint. I'll send you guys an article too about different types of water infused things that you have. And if you want to, you can actually put a few drops of sweetener if you want to, but ideally at the end you want to go away from using sweeteners, right? But you just take this container, and I put the fruits and vegetables in there. I put in hot water instead of cold water and let it sit for a little bit. I close it up and I put it in my refrigerator overnight, and the next morning you can drink that water and it is delicious. The other thing that I like to do is I buy mint from the store because I keep killing my mint plants. I don't know why they won't grow here in Florida, but they're always dead. So when I buy mint from the store, it's a big old bunch, right? So, and I can never use that much mint. So I started leaving a strainer on the side, and when I get the mint, I use whatever I use, and as soon as I'm finished, I take the rest of them, I peel the leaves off, and I throw them in the strainer. I rinse them real quick, let them shake them dry, and leave them to sit. And every so often, I'll go by and just like shake them around, and it actually dries the mint down to little dried bits, and then I throw that into my whatever drink later on, and then I don't have to worry about the mint going bad because it goes bad too quick. So that's what I've been doing, and it works really well. That also works for things like lemon peels. So I have like a lemon peel in my water, and I've had this lemon peel for like 3 cups of water. And you'll see that the water actually is yellow, like the oils from the lemon have gone into the water. So you can't drink the last bit of water because it'll be too strong, right? So you don't want to like the squeezing of a lemon is great, but if you don't want to keep cutting fresh lemons, you can actually just use the lemon peels and do the same thing. Let them dry and then throw them in there, and then they'll rehydrate. So it's a quick way to add more flavors to your water. You can also do things like drink teas, herbal teas, hot or cold, unsweetened black coffee, or add 1% skim milk, or drink skim milk, clear broth. You can drink sweet, uncarbonate or carbonated, unsweetened carbonated waters or flavored waters. So it's really easy to make options for you at home when you have all sorts of interesting and easy things to do. Additionally, in terms of habits, we can try things like tracking our drinking habits. What do we currently drink, and where do we drink, and figure out where we drink non-carbonated or non-water drinks, and then figure out how we can get more water into our system. If it seems very daunting, and it is, especially if we're used to not drinking water, try to gradually cut back on what you drink that's not water and try to gradually increase water. So do it gradually. Take baby steps. That's okay. Set yourself a little goal and figure out where you can do it and when you can do it. The other thing we can do is clear out non-water beverages. And I hate to waste, but you know what? Just get rid of it. It's not good for you. Like, it's not worth the $2 or $3 that we spent on it to put all those calories into our body. So, you know, sometimes we just need to toss them. The other thing we can do is choose a trigger to remind ourselves to drink. So, for example, drink a glass of water every time you check your social media, or every time you go to the bathroom, or tie something to drinking water so that you remember, do this, I'm going to drink water. So that might help you remind yourself to drink. The other thing to do is to set an alarm on your phone to drink at regular intervals. So you can set a little timer on your watch every hour, and the timer goes off, go drink water. Something like that, or on your phone. Thing that Dara does, drink a full glass of water as soon as you wake up. That's a really, really great tip, because a lot of times the first thing in your morning, we feel tired. You know, we get up and we're like, oh, I'm so tired, I need that cup of coffee. But it really is just our body being dehydrated after a whole night of sleep and not getting water. So drinking that water right as we wake up, you know, first thing right after you brush your teeth, chug that big glass of water, put a glass next to your bathroom sink, and then just fill it up, or fill up that cup the night before and leave it there and just drink it first thing. That's going to be good. Drink before meals and while you're cooking. So sometimes while we're cooking, just drink the water, and then this way you'll get your water in the 30 minutes before you eat, and you'll also, you know, take away some of that hunger. And then whenever you're in doubt, drink a glass of water before you eat something, because that'll help you determine whether or not you're really hungry or if you're just, you know, tired or thirsty. So let's see. The last one, I didn't talk about this, is that it can take, 15 to 20 minutes for your brain to realize your stomach is full. So if you extend your meal time by drinking water first, it can also help you from overeating. So that's that. Okay, lastly, tips about when to drink more water. Just listen to your body. If you are thirsty, drink water. If you start to feel sick, drink water. Like if I don't sleep enough, like I drink so much water the next day. Like that's my big go-to. Or hangovers, like drink a lot of water. Now, this is what they were also saying. Ice water constricts the arteries around the stomach, which slows down water absorption. So, room temperature water. And then also hydrate. Okay. The thing is to pay attention for any signs of dehydration. Respond immediately to your thirst cue. So if you feel thirsty, and then also adjust your water according to your activities and the weather. Okay, so how do we motivate ourselves to drink water besides scaring the bejesus out of ourselves like we did earlier? I like this pinch test because I literally pinch myself and I'm like, oh, I need to drink water, because that's a big sign of me being dehydrated. The other thing we can do is motivate ourselves by getting a non-food related reward. So set a goal and say, if I've reached this goal, I'm going to treat myself to a facial or a massage or something. An hour of reading, whatever it is, bubble bath, whatever it is that, you can do for yourself. Track your progress. So my Jada and Jenna really wanted a challenge recently to drink more water. So this is why we got these big bottles, so that they would drink and then mark off where they were supposed to drink by what time of the day. So they would put, 9 o'clock, they would drink by this, 12 o'clock, they would drink over here. And so they were marking down on their bottles where, with a Sharpie, where they wanted to drink up to. And then that would kind of give them a gauge like, oh, it's 10 o'clock and I didn't finish my 9 o'clock. And then they would drink some more. So that might be a good way for you to figure out if you're drinking. Now, those are heavy. So, but maybe it is 2 glasses or, 2 bottles or whatever by a certain time. All right. You can also keep track of how many ounces of water that you drink every day. And then soon you can figure out, okay, this is how many, and I don't know about this. I don't think I would ever do this. Figure out if you have enough to fill a bathtub, a hot tub, or even a pool full of water. All right. The last thing you can do to motivate yourself is to track what you don't drink. So if you used to drink a can of soda every day, Dara, right? And you didn't drink that for the past week, read the label of it and see how many calories you've saved. And then write that down. And then add them all up for the whole week that you haven't saved and be like, hey, I saved 1,300 calories right there from not drinking this. And that might motivate you too. So the other thing you have to be aware of is sometimes they'll say the serving size is 2 for the can instead of 1. So you have to count that twice. And then you'll be surprised at how fast, if you skip that Frappuccino or whatever, that those calories will add up. Okay. Basically, I wanted to double check with you guys to see what your takeaways are. You drinking water, I like it. Go ahead, unmute yourself and tell me. Do you have any things that that you really liked about the session?
an echo.
I know you guys are in the same room. It's so cute.
I
See if I can turn mine.
I did the pinch test because I've been complaining about my skin, and I was blaming it on the Florida sun because I do moisturize and everything. And so Joe and I, we just kind of said to each other, "Oh, it's because we're not drinking enough water." So that's good. Yeah. We were also talking about a woman I used to work with, and she drank a liter bottle of Coke every day at work. And I used to think, wow, that's a lot. But if she didn't get that buzz, then she was hell on wheels.
Well, you know what? That probably was her coping mechanism too.
Yeah, I just wonder how that ultimately ended up for her. But I the pinch test is something I wasn't familiar with, and it just resonated with me because I kept telling Joe how my skin was changing, and I didn't think about my water intake. And then he also reminded me that when we exercise and you say take a water break, I never get water.
Yes, so through the Senior Fit classes, they teach us that we have to tell people within an hour to drink water at least 3 times. It's very important for seniors because they can be dizzy. They can get the effects a lot quicker, especially since they are mostly dehydrated. So yes, perfect. And Joe, this is some of the advantages of drinking water in the morning that I was talking about earlier. And then the other thing on the bottom that I posted was about drinking water, how it helps you with your weight loss. So drink 16 ounces of water 30 minutes before meals 3 times a day.
Is that 30 minutes before each meal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That'll really kick up your weight loss. All right. So in closing, I hope you guys have learned about something new, which was good. And hopefully you guys are going to be more motivated to drink more water, because that will definitely help you. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to do this quick poll about what you guys think. Was it too much information? Was it great? You learned and you're going to be motivated. C, you needed more info. And D, you didn't really learn anything, take anything away. Please let me know. I'm the only one who gets it, and it is anonymous, so I don't know who sent it, but vote so I know that I'm on the right track.
How do I vote?
Oops, sorry, just a sec. Let me launch the poll.
Yeah, you gotta launch it. There you go.
Okay.
A, too much info. B, was good. C, you need more info. You guys are good? All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know I've been running to about this time every day, so it is what it is. Maybe this is what it's meant to be. Because every time I start doing this research, I'm like, oh, I need to talk about this. So I don't know.
Did she hear you?
I appreciate the effort that you make to bring us this information, because I think especially now that we're kind of in the house and not doing the things we normally do, I know I've become very lax. And
Me too.
This is really a motivator. I know we kind of look bored sometimes.
No.
Because it feels like being in school, but it really is being in school. But I just really appreciate the effort that you put in this, because it kind of reminds me stopped paying attention to. So thumbs up with all your efforts. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you. And if there's anything that you think that I could cut out, then please let me know, because I'm always trying to think of things that I can cut out.
I like the idea of that interactive. When the word water, then you drink water. So that was kind of fun.
I'm trying to make it more interactive.
Stuff like that.
Keep you guys awake.
Yeah.
It's like at church when they make you get up and sit down,
Hey, Shalane, that reading that you sent last week, that was good. You didn't
I
have
try to make it so that
but
it's like very short things that are mostly pictures. Like I really do
had
look
those
at
8 slides or 9. It was really good.
Yeah.
I knew some of that, but it was like a great refresher, and then there was things there that I didn't know or had forgotten. So I thought it was good.
Good, 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 good. Yay! I'm glad. Because you know,
Oh,
like
you want
we
to
don't
hear?
get a lot of traction, but
You want to hear something funny?
uh-huh.
We, our neighbors, we all congregated at the end of our driveways on July the 4th, and you know, we had watermelon, and, you know, all kinds of stuff down there. And then we had sparklers and everything. So I I had my sparklers, and I was doing your exercise, and I didn't realize it. I said, "Oh, I'm doing the Shalane." And I said, "What's the Shalane?" Joe said, "Oh, I know what it is."
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome. I'm really glad that I'm making a difference because honestly, I do put a lot of effort into it because I have to create this. But it is helpful to you and it is helpful to me. So let's continue. If you guys are still willing to do this, let's keep going. All right. Please let people know about it if it's helpful to you, because they are out on YouTube and it is out on a podcast so people can hear it. And the deck is available in the PDFs, and it's all on that getfit.shalanefit.com. So I am going to turn off the recorder, and then we can discuss personally our discussions. So thank you everybody who had joined in, and goodbye to all of you who are listening online. Thank you so very much. All right, so all the rest of you stay with me. Breakout discussions coming right up.